You know that feeling when you finally have a quiet moment to yourself, but instead of enjoying it, you immediately reach for your phone? What if I told you that your brain is actively sabotaging your peace? Here's the truth. Your mind isn't broken. It's doing exactly what it was designed to do, just in a world it wasn't designed for. It's like having a smoke detector that goes off every time you make toast. The alarm works perfectly, but it's responding to the wrong threat. Next time you feel restless in silence, notice what happens. Your brain starts scanning for problems, creating scenarios, pulling you into the past or future. That's the moment peace becomes impossible. When you understand why this happens, you realize you're not weak or undisciplined. You're just running outdated programming. Everyone knows someone who seems naturally calm and present. They're not born with a special brain. They just know something you're about to learn. Chapter 1. The Survival Software Problem. Your brain is running Stone Age code in a digital world. I just can't focus anymore. We think this like something is wrong with us, but your brain is doing exactly what kept your ancestors alive. Here's the survival software problem. Your brain was optimized for detecting threats, not for experiencing peace. Evolution didn't care if you were happy. It cared if you survived long enough to reproduce. Those ancestors who could relax completely, they got eaten by predators. The anxious ones who constantly scanned for danger, they became your great-great-grandparents. When you're sitting quietly and your brain suddenly reminds you of that embarrassing thing you said 5 years ago, it's not being cruel. It's doing threat detection. Your mind treats social rejection like physical danger because for most of human history, being expelled from your tribe meant death. Pause and ask, what is my brain trying to protect me from right now? Maybe nothing real. Maybe just the unfamiliar sensation of not being in control. Suddenly, you're not fighting your brain. You're understanding it. When you recognize this survival software for what it is, you can start updating it. Nobody finds peace by forcing their mind to be quiet. You find it by understanding why it's so loud. Consider your last moment of stillness. What threat was your brain manufacturing? Chapter 2. The Dopamine Slot Machine. Why distraction feels better than presence. Here's something that will blow your mind. Every time you check your phone, you're not looking for information. You're pulling a lever on a slot machine. Distraction isn't a habit. It's an addiction your brain chemistry was hacked to create. Social media companies employ the same psychologists that casinos use. When you scroll and occasionally find something interesting, your brain releases dopamine. Not when you find the interesting thing, but in the anticipation of finding it. That's why you keep scrolling even when nothing is good. Your brain is chasing the possibility of reward. Peace doesn't offer this chemical hit. Se te inquieta lhe produzes no dopamine spike, no variable reward, no excitement. It's like asking someone addicted to slot machines to find fulfillment in watching paint dry. Your coworker takes a break and immediately opens Instagram. They're not weak. They're responding to neurochemical conditioning that took billions of dollars to engineer. But underneath that automatic reach is a brain that's been trained. What if I miss something important? When you choose presence over distraction, there's no immediate reward. Actually, there's often discomfort. The absence of stimulation feels like something is wrong. Your brain interprets boredom as danger because in the ancestral environment, boredom meant you weren't being vigilant enough. When you learn to recognize the dopamine chase, you can stop judging yourself and start retraining your reward system. Distraction promises relief. Presence delivers actual rest. Reflect on your screen time today. How much was seeking versus finding? Chapter 3. The Discomfort Avoidance Engine. What peace really requires you to feel. Between every moment of distraction and your awareness of it, there's a feeling. In that feeling lies the real reason you can't be still. Most people don't even know the feeling exists. Beneath every compulsive reach for your phone is an emotion you're avoiding. Anxiety, loneliness, inadequacy, grief, or just the strange vulnerability of being alone with yourself. Someone sits down to meditate. Within 30 seconds, they remember they need to check their email. But before that thought, there's a sensation. Maybe tightness in the chest. Maybe a flutter of anxiety. The email excuse is just the escape route. When you learn to catch that sensation before the distraction, you discover what you're actually running from. Your friend can't sit through a movie without checking their phone. Your first thought is they're addicted. But in that moment before they reach for the device, ask yourself, what are they not wanting to feel? That question reveals the truth. This isn't about discipline. It's about tolerance for discomfort. Peace requires you to feel whatever you've been avoiding. It's the difference between numbing yourself and actually healing. Think about someone who seems comfortable in silence. They haven't eliminated discomfort. They've learned to be with it. You can too. Chapter 4, the stimulation baseline shift. How you accidentally trained your brain to need chaos. What if the reason peace feels wrong is because you've recalibrated what normal feels like? Inside you is a stimulation thermostat that's been turned up so high that calm registers as crisis. You can reset it, but first you need to understand how it got broken. This thermostat used to be set to natural levels. Conversations, nature, books, occasional excitement. But every time you chose high stimulation over low, you adjusted the baseline. It's like the volume knob that only goes one direction, up. You're reading a book and it feels slow. Instead of staying with it, you switch to scrolling short videos. Your brain notes this. Books equal boring. Videos equal normal. Next time, the book feels even slower. From this space of understanding, you can see the trap. The more stimulation you consume, the more you need to feel okay. The stimulation baseline gives you a framework for understanding your restlessness. You're not broken. You're overstimulated. Think about entertainment from 20 years ago. It feels painfully slow now. That's not because it got worse. Your baseline shifted. Now you can start shifting it back. Chapter 5, the productivity delusion. Confusing busy with valuable. What if your inability to rest isn't about distraction, but about worth? This perspective shift will change how you see every quiet moment. Every time you feel guilty for not doing something, you're revealing a belief. My value comes from my output. That friend who can't stop working, maybe they're proving they matter. That person who fills every silence with activity, perhaps they're running from worthlessness. Just like a hamster on a wheel mistakes motion for progress, you might be mistaking busy for meaningful. Your colleague works through lunch every day and it bothers you. Instead of thinking they're a workaholic, try what am I afraid would happen if I stopped producing? Suddenly, this isn't about their problem. It's about your belief that rest equals laziness. You start responding with awareness. I notice I feel guilty when I'm not productive. When busyness becomes a belief system, you stop running and start choosing. Every moment of peace becomes an opportunity to prove your worth isn't conditional. Examine what you think makes you valuable. Is peace allowed in that equation? Chapter 6, the comparison trap. How other people's highlight reels steal your presence. Presence isn't just about your mind. It's about whose life you're living in. Here's how to stop abandoning your peace for someone else's performance. Comparison is like poison for presence. It communicates your life isn't enough, so you need to constantly check if you're falling behind. What are they doing that I'm not? Is worth more than 1,000 peaceful moments. Your friend posts vacation photos while you're having a quiet weekend at home. Instead of enjoying your rest, you think I should be doing something more exciting. This isn't gratitude. It's theft. You're stealing your own peace. Your sibling mentions their promotion. Instead of being present with your own life, you spiral into, am I successful enough? Where should I be by now? You're living in their timeline instead of your own. Comparisons that steal presence create anxiety that questions about your own path never will. You can't be here when you're mentally living there. Identify your comparison triggers. Are they enhancing your life or eroding your peace? Chapter 7, the notification nation. Being available versus being present. There's a difference between being connected and being consumed. One creates relationship, the other creates fragmentation. Here's how to know what you're offering. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is turn off notifications and trust that nothing will fall apart. This isn't irresponsible. It's radical in a culture that demands constant availability. You're saying my attention is mine to give, and my attention is rare and precious. I'm here with my life right now. Nothing else needs me for these minutes. You're not just managing your phone. You're reclaiming your mind. Your boss sends a message after work hours while you're having dinner with family. Instead of immediately responding, let it wait. This meal matters. This moment won't return. You're honoring both yourself and presence. Availability prevents the slow erosion of peace that happens when everyone can reach you, but you can never reach yourself. 5 minutes of protected attention beats hours of fragmented awareness. We've all felt the anxiety of constant digital demands. The mature approach is choosing boundaries over availability. Everyone craves someone who actually shows up for their own life. Recall a moment when you weren't waiting for the next ping. That's what you can give yourself. Chapter 8, The Tolerance Ladder. Building capacity for stillness one breath at a time. You wouldn't run a marathon without training. So why expect yourself to immediately sit in meditation for an hour? Here's how to build peace gradually. Stillness tolerance is an all or nothing. It follows levels. 5 seconds at the bottom, 1 minute in the middle, sustained presence near the top. When you climb this ladder appropriately, you build capacity instead of burning out. Sitting quietly for 10 seconds is different than sitting for 10 minutes. Both are valuable. One is appropriate for beginners. The other is for practice minds. Knowledge is wisdom. When you match stillness practice to your current capacity, you stop either giving up or forcing it. Start noticing where you are on your ladder. Complete beginner, stay at level 1 or 2. Some experience, climb to level 4 or 5. You'll start seeing patterns. I can't sit still for even 30 seconds. Or I expect myself to be instantly zen. When you know your pattern, you can adjust it. Adjustment transforms restlessness into peace. You become gradually more capable instead of perpetually frustrated. Everyone has a stillness comfort zone. Most people just don't understand how to expand it. Understanding yours is mental courage in action. Notice where you give up on the ladder. That's your growth edge calling. Chapter 9, The Reset Ritual. Creating space between stimulus and response. You can interrupt the distraction pattern without fighting it. You can choose peace without forcing it. Here's how to create that space. Mental reset means catching yourself mid-reach and pausing. You can notice the impulse without obeying it. I'm about to check my phone. What am I actually feeling right now? It's like being a scientist. You observe the urge instead of automatically following it. Your hand moves toward your phone during a conversation. Instead of grabbing it, pause. You're right. I was about to disappear. I'm staying here instead. You're being conscious without being controlling. Reset rituals preserve presence that would otherwise slowly die from accumulated small distractions. Uninterrupted patterns become prisons. Everyone knows someone who can't stop checking their device. That's not preference. It's autopilot disguised as choice. Consider a moment today when you chose distraction. What would pausing have revealed? Chapter 10, The Peace Practice. Choosing stillness as radical resistance. You're not responsible for fixing your brain. You're responsible for training it. Create the conditions. Let peace become possible. Here's how to become someone who can actually be still. Every time you want peace, offer yourself permission, not pressure. I'm allowed to just be here without needing to do anything. This is permission, not performance. What if your restlessness means you're healing, not that you're failing? The space you create determines what becomes possible. You feel anxious sitting quietly, but judge yourself for it. Permission version. This is hard and that's okay. I'm building new capacity. Result, self-compassion and gradual progress. Pressure version. I should be able to do this. What's wrong with me? Result, shame and giving up. Same desire for peace, different approach, completely different outcome. When you become conscious of how you practice stillness, you stop abandoning yourself while trying to find yourself. You become the conscious creator of your own peace. Reflect on how you typically seek calm. Are you permitting or pressuring? Knowledge without practice is just information. Here's how to turn these insights into your new mental reality. This is where chaos transforms into clarity. Integration happens through consistent practice, not perfection. Start with one technique and use it for a week. When you reach for distraction, pause for 5 seconds. When you feel restless, name the feeling underneath. Each time you choose presence, you're rewiring your attention patterns. For the next week, pick just one technique, maybe the reset ritual. Every time you feel the urge to check your phone, pause and take 3 breaths first. That's it. By week 2, this will start becoming natural. Small, consistent changes create massive transformations over time. The person who lives in peace isn't born with a different brain. They've just practiced these skills until they became automatic. You can too. Everyone wants to feel less fragmented. Now, you have the roadmap to reclaim your attention. Think about who you'll be when distraction is replaced by presence. That person is waiting for you to stop running and start being here.